Hi, Anthropology. This is Kaylee Wilkes, and I'm here to talk about Unit 3, Mapping Myself into My World. I found this very interesting. Actually, in fact, this was probably one of my favorite art projects that we've done so far. When I first started this class, it was not exactly how I thought it was going to be. I forgot that I signed up for art and anthropology, whereas I thought I just signed up for cultural anthropology. To me, reading these stories at first reminded me of science and religion and history, but as I started to read more and more into the stories and as the units go on, I learned that everything is tied together here in this universe. It is crazy. Everything is an art now. At first, I was like, there's no way. How is something so simple and like landscape and a person and religion and art? But as I read through the stories and lectures and all the media that was required in our units, it's crazy to see how everything is so linked together. Um, so at first we learned how landscape can be an art or cultural beliefs can be an art, and then we learned about webs and how webs build our lives. And then unit 3 we learned about the maps, and the map is still like a web to our lives, just not fully developed yet. There's holes in the webs that things fly through in our lives that we don't really see most of the time. As I was reviewing the other peers' homework, I really liked, I believe her name was Hannah. Sorry if it's not the correct name, but she took her cultural background and she made a heart and a crown in the hands and she made it into a map. It wasn't just a simple map, it was really complex. I made a simple map. I will show it to you. I started off by making a card. And don't mind the dollar sign, it bled through, but this is my heart. This is my world. And as you open up my world, you can see what is important to me and the places that I go weekly. So I drew the world as my home. I go here every single day. I wake up here. I go home here. This is where I rest. This is where I play. Isaac is my son. Chris is my fiance, and Bella is my dog. This is my home. This is my life. This is where I can go to relax and kind of just, unwind from the day. This is where I feel most safe. As I go up, which is actually Durango Street, and you turn right onto Sunset, I put a dollar sign. This is my job. I work for an attorney's office. So then I go back home to go to Blue Diamond, and then off of a certain road, I'm forgetting the road's name, and this is school. This is my son's school. To me, this is very important to my life because he's 2 and he is learning so much, and it's very important from an early stage to start learning and develop who you're going to be. He's learned a lot from there. Then after school, we go back home, eat dinner, and most of the time we do end up at the park. The park is a huge part of my life because we are constantly there. This brings my family together. This shows me who my son really is and just what is important to me. Spending time with my family is just so huge to me. So this is my map. And I can relate this to the unit because this is what is important to me. This is how I grew up. I grew up believing in my cultural belief and my religious belief. We're very family oriented. My whole family bends over backwards for one another, even if that person messed up, hasn't been there for the other person in the past. It's just, that's how my family it is. I go to work every single day, whether I want to or not, to support my family, to support my son. And like I said, school and work and being a family is what I grew up as being very important. My mom and dad have constantly pushed me and pushed me and pushed me to go to school and told me, if you ever have a family, it's important that you guys encourage each other and spend that family time together because life happens so quickly and we just forget. We're so stressed out about school, we're so stressed out about work that we just forget what it's like to be a family and what is really important to us at this time. Maps tell us what to look for. Maps can be very complex and very simple. The pink heart I drew was actually supposed to be a map of Las Vegas. I just moved here not too long ago, but this is where my heart is. I came from Reno originally and overseas, and I just feel like Vegas is so much more better for my family here. The life here is better. Throughout the lectures, I saw different ways to make maps and how it tells a story and how it shows what is important to the map maker. I'm the map maker, and those 4 basic things are what are most important to me and my family, just to make sure that my son has a good future and that I have a good future to take care of my son and myself as well. When we look at something, we don't always see what it really is, and this is how we can relate it to art. For example, at the park, we just like, oh, this is a cool place for my son to go play. But you don't really notice how there's other parenting there, the surroundings. We take him to the park next to Wet and Wild. It's beautiful there, and it's shaded, and the architect is just wonderful. If you guys haven't been there with your kids, I highly suggest it. Sorry, excuse me, I'm getting all nervous now. So we also learned about abstraction and what it's not, like it's not what it really is. Like, for example, I just drop my son off daily at school. I don't really think what it could be for him. I'm like, great, he's going to school so I can go to work. But I don't really realize how much he is learning and how much I'm learning at work. And so this actually does bring me to my second part of the project. It's called Senses Art. This is me opening my mouth. This is my reception job that I have right now at the attorney's office. And at first I was going back and forth about what exactly I can do for this. This one was a little bit more complex, as I know other people had problems with it. So I wanted to close my eyes and hear what I could hear at the places without really thinking work related. And then I was like, I can't draw with my eyes closed. It would be like a kindergartner drawing, this is not the best drawing either. So then I said, when I'm at work, what am I doing there exactly? What does it mean to me? And what is it towards my life? How is this going to affect my life? So I'm a reception, and these are supposed to be stepping stones for me to be, and as it says, power of attorney. And I am working my way up actually to be a legal secretary, and they told me that if I wanted to be an attorney, they would pay for my school. But I don't see it like that. I go to work to make money. I don't see the future. I don't see anything like that. But as I was thinking about this project, this is what I decided to do. Maps are like stories. I believe that my map can show people what is important to me, even if they're not there. If my son looked at this later on in life, he would be like, oh, this is part of my, family background. This is what was important to my mom at the time. Like I said, this relates to the unit because, and I kind of went off subject, but I'm sorry, but this relates to the unit because a lot of maps come from cultural background and ancestors, and even though we physically weren't there, I still today get life lessons from my grandparents about when they were kids or what they did when they were younger and how we can learn from it. And I just believe that like going to work is not just going to work to pay the bills. It can actually like brighten your future. So that's what I really focused my art project on. If you read my unit notes too, it'd probably explain a little bit more in more depth than what I am explaining now. But I just wanted to let you know that this was probably my favorite art project of all, and I hope I explained it well. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a great night.